Hi Pisces, what's going on? Alrighty, let's get into your collective reading. God has blessed it for all you Pisces. Yeah. So listen, we're gonna look at your recent past, your current energy, and what's coming up for you Pisces. So let's just see what we get, shall we, darling? Yeah. So however it's seeming to speak to you, let it, because it's a lot of fishes out here. A lot of fishes in the sea. Okay, darling. Let's see what's coming up for you, Pisces. In your recent past, we have magic. Number 26. So that's the Glastonbury Britain. And so this is like the chalice that Jesus Christ drank out of for the last time. And so if you can get your hands on this chalice, baby, you are in. And so for a lot of you, you've captured something that was nearly impossible to get. A lot of people were after, but because magic is alive in your life right now, you captured it, you got it. And a lot of times patience, the saying is patience is a virtue. And so this is under the Bodhi tree in northern India, where you're just praying, you're meditating. Maybe you were trying to capture this chalice. Maybe you weren't. Maybe it was just time and chance and it just happened to land in your lap. But either way, patience has brought you magic. And this magic is saying, whatever you want to be can be. Now, timing may be a factor. It may happen when you're thinking. It may happen when you're not thinking. But either way, this is a time of good fortune. This is a time of fate. This is a time of karma. This was a time when things were magically, miraculously happening, whether it was in love, in career, in your family, in finances. It's just like things were just clicking. A, B, C, D, E. And a lot of times life doesn't happen like that. There could be some hiccups, there could be some steps that were skipped. But for you, Pisces, I feel like it was all just kind of in flow. And so now you have here number 11, which is expansion, planet Jupiter, which continues magic, because Jupiter is that planet of fortune, karma, good luck, good abundance, things that seem like wishes fulfilled. That's what Jupiter represents. And so you're definitely in this period of expansion. This period of where things are just blooming, they're blossoming, they're developing. If you were at, let's say it's a job, right? So you got an initial interview scheduled. Well, expansion means that now you are at the panel stage where you've bypassed the one-on-one interviews and now you are meeting with everybody because they're that interested. So it's that kind of thing where luck and opportunity and fortune are definitely favoring you. And because, patience has been your virtue. Sometimes people try to rush things that aren't ready to happen. And what happens is they end up messing it up because just like you're trying so hard to push it that time is like, no, I'm not ready. But for you, Pisces, you've said, you know what? This is going to go on God's timing. This is going to go on God's purpose. I'm just going to do what I need to do and the rest will work itself out. And because you have that kind of perspective and personality, that's exactly what's happening. Things are working out in your favor. Now you have number 21, higher consciousness. And that's Sirius, Pilatus, and Atreus. Sometimes my pronunciations are questionable, whatever. Anyway, number 21, that's higher consciousness. It's like your spirit, your mind, your heart, your soul, they all know where you're headed. And it's higher level. If we can go back to the career front, this is one of those things where it's like, you are expanding. Let's say it was a job you were applying for, right? And maybe you were just applying for like a lead position. Well, because of your expansion and the magic that's alive in your life and the higher consciousness that you possess and the patience that you've shown, it's like, no, you're not just a lead, you're managerial. You know what I mean? You are that person that really you're going to be offered like a step to elevate It's not just where you thought you would go, but it's like magical and majestic how it works out for you. You're operating from like this higher frequency and these dimensions that are like, okay, Pisces, you're playing it safe, but we're going to actually take you where you need to be. And that's what higher consciousness represents, especially here with patience. You know, I'm not going to lie to you, Pisces. A lot of you seem very innocent, but you're not. You are actually a wild child. You know, of the water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, people think Pisces, because you're fishes and you live in your emotions, that you don't have that oomph to you. You don't have that, you know, space that makes people like, God damn, who, what? People think a lot of times that's Scorpio or it's Cancer, but really it's you, Pisces. And that's what's going on. I feel like there's something here that you've been very deliberate about. You know, you've shown what you needed to show. You've done what you needed to do. And the right people are seeing it. And so because of your deliberate actions, deliberate results. Leadership, number 22. And that's ancient Egypt. So with this magic, Pisces, I feel like you've been deliberately showing how you can be a leader. How you can create things that would seem normally abnormal. Like pyramids. How did they really become about? Do we know? No. But, you know, we can assume, we can guesstimate. But I feel like with this magic, you were intentionally focused on the things that you wanted to create. You were deliberating. You were saying, okay, if I could have it any way that I want, me as Pisces, this is what I would choose. And you know what? That's what's happening. Activation, number 2, humans discovering fire in Africa. So fire is so multi-purpose. It can cook, it can cleanse, it can destroy. It has so many different factors. So I feel like with you in this expansion, you are using fire to create. You're using fire to cleanse. You're using fire to, you know, kind of burn away all the things that don't need to be and really focus on what's remaining. You know, I think of Game of Thrones. I don't know if we have any Game of Thrones fans, but spoiler alert, please no, I'm about to spoil some shit. But, and I forgot what episode, maybe it's season 1 or season 2, but anyway, Khaleesi, she has these dragons, right? And everybody's like, oh no, dragons aren't real, they don't exist anymore. And so she basically sets this whole camp on fire. And the only thing that she walks into the fire with is her 3 eggs. And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's dead. But at the end of the episode, she, you know, unveils herself. She's totally untouched by the fire. And not only that, but the eggs that were in there with her have now birthed and become 3 dragons. And so it's that kind of activation where fire actually creates, it purifies, it makes something hatch. And so with the expansion here, I feel like, you know, you took some kind of leap of faith. You were Khaleesi. You were the one who stepped into the fire with just your eggs. And afterwards, you came out unscathed and with 3 dragons. You know what I mean? So people are looking at you like, oh my gosh, who is Pisces? And so then you have number 4 here, boundaries, the Great Wall of China. So with your higher consciousness, listen, Pisces, there's going to be some people or some circumstances, some situations that come upon you that are going to test you, that are going to see how far they can take it with you. And you just need to let them know very strongly, hell motherfucking no. You have this point to go with me. And if you go anything past that, I'm going to have to really get real with you and show you who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? So because you're operating at a higher level, people don't even know really exactly where you're coming from. And so if they try to test you, you are going to very much so let them know that was a mistake. Okay? So that's what I got for you, darling. I hope it blessed you. Like, subscribe, share. I'll talk to you soon.